Hi, was Crackalack and my ghouls, gals, and non-binary pals. Oh, I could have just said that. I called you guys gnomes last time. This is my second shoot. Maybe I will call you guys gnomes. Let me know if you want to be called a gnome. As a non-binary person, let me know. I'm just curious. You don't have to be into that. I don't know what I'm saying. I do not know what I'm saying. Anywho, we are on to chapter 7, yes, of Higurashi When They Cry. I believe it's either the day after the festival or the night after the festival. Whatever, one of the two. But, if I keep saying but, I'll remember where I was going with that. Oh! This episode is going to be the night after the festival. What happened last time, at the end of the festival, Tomitake, we were talking to him, just having a little chit-chat about the curse of the Watanagashi. Not the curse of the Watanagashi. We were at the Watanagashi talking about the curse of Oyashiro and how people have been demoned away every year, and then there was also a person missing. Or dead. Missing. Dead. There was a person dead. So there are two people, two weird incidents that happened every night around the Watanagashi, or the night of the Watanagashi, where something bad happened to two people. Yeah, so without further ado, I hope you enjoy Hello? What do you mean it wasn't reported in the newspaper? Radio log. That's weird. That's really weird. Really, really weird. This is Okinomiya Station. Okinomiya? Okinomiya. I don't know. It's Oki Station. Calling Unit 3. Unit 3, please respond. This is Unit 3. Loud and clear. Backup is heading your way. Hold positions until further instructions. Over. Roger. And Unit 3 acknowledged. Requesting no headlights. Requesting radio silence. Station, the doctor has arrived. They want to carry it away. What's the order? Over. Acknowledged. Leave it to the doctor. Affirmative. Understood. Backup has arrived. Shouldn't we let them take a photo first? I think the Vic is done for. That's suspicious. That's very suspicious. Okay, I'm gonna save for the first time in forever. And we're gonna continue on. Chapter 6. Good morning. Nice job yesterday, Kei-chan. Didn't do so badly yourself, Mion. Yesterday was fun. Oh, that's right, Keiichi-kun. Thank you very much for Mr. Bear. I'm glad you like it. Don't use it as a pincushion, though. I wouldn't. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Still treading happily, we entered the classroom, but the moment I stepped in the room, a splashing sound and a nasty sensation. The bucket filled to the brim with water, and unfortunately my foot stepped right into it. Now, how diligent of you to mop the floor this morning. Clomp, 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 foot. Kichi's flick my foot. You should set up your beautiful trap. I'll put your trap next time. Saying that, Reina began to swoon as Mion looked on dejectedly. Thing was the same as always. Everybody was there and nothing felt out of place. The uncertainties I had in the back of my mind since yesterday had vanished. What is it, Keiichi-kun? Didn't get enough sleep, maybe? I slept like a log, but if you want, I'll do a reenactment during class. You shouldn't do that. Mion alerted us that the teacher was coming, so everyone shuffled off to their seats. Good morning, everyone. So yesterday was the festival. Thank you to all the people who stayed until the very end to help clean up. We were all slackers, so none of us actually helped clean up. Actually, I had a feeling that the only thing we did was run around the festival and cause a ruckus. Okay then, this time of year you might see some people here from out of town doing interviews about the festival for magazines. I thought it was the usual stuff, so I was going to tune it out, but then I noticed something different. tone in her voice and started paying attention. You may be asked questions. Please don't say anything silly or something that could be taken the wrong way. Do you understand? In unison, everyone replied, Yes, ma'am. What she'd said was really vague, but I understood what she was trying to say. After all, this was the 5th year. There were probably lots of third-rate reporters pouring in, hoping something regarding the curse had happened. It did nothing but perpetuate the village's bad image. She was saying, don't spout stupid shit you think is funny. Now I was one of those who needed to keep their mouths shut. Found it rather cute how I felt a sense of unity from such a trite thing, if I do say so myself. He's one of them now. One of us. I was summoned to club activities after school. Since everybody was still pretty tired from yesterday, we just spent the day relaxing. Nah, that's not what was happening. Today, let's play a classic game of deduction. How about this one? Oh, a game from overseas. Looks interesting. The instructions are in English, but the rules don't seem that hard. I won't lose you here. I'm not too bad at this game. It seemed that Reina didn't handle this kind of game well. The rules are the person who can match the murder weapon and the scene of the crime wins. So it's Clue. Got it. There were 3 kinds of cards comprised of suspects, weapons, and locations. I could see that the names Mion and Rico were written on the suspect cards. Oh, and a card with my name on it as well. There are plenty of different weapons too, like knives, axes, and poison. The locations are pretty nice too, like the living room, the study, and the courtyard. So basically, you take out one of each of the cards. These are the answer cards. So we shuffle the remaining cards and hand them out. We ask each other about the cards and figure out the right ones. Ah, I see. So the cards nobody has are the true perpetrators. Yes, they are. Then you raise your hand. Then you raise your hand if you know the answer. The game ends. The game ends and we check if the answer is correct. If you're right, then you get a point. If you're wrong, then you lose a point. Since the game ends, even if no one gets it right, all the cards are gathered up and redistributed. You'll learn as you go. You really have to use your brain. You'll get confused if you don't take notes. The rest you can figure out by playing. So Mion? What's the penalty this time? Everyone directed their attention to Mion. Let's see. We're all still a little tired from yesterday, so maybe we'll take it easy with the gopher penalty. You'll be asked to rush out and buy stuff for everyone. So just being asked to go buy stuff like drinks and candy, I guess. I feel like the penalty today is pretty simple. I wonder, is it really? Is Keiichi-san thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah. You don't know what you'll have to go buy. I'm betting Mion would send out whoever loses to buy stuff like hemorrhoid cream or happy family planning menu or other crazy stuff. The cards were lightly shuffled and passed on to each player. The real perpetrator, the correct weapon, and the scene of the murder have been taken out, so that means all cards I have in my hand are innocent cards. Then I'll go first since I'm the club president, I guess. Well then, Mion, knife, study. You pick one suspect, weapon, and murder scene, and ask each person. If you have any of those cards, then you must say, I have one. However, you don't need to say which one you have. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, me too. I have one. Come on, leave that. Oh my! All of them are here. 3 people answered when she asked if they had Mion, study, and knife. So that means Mion, study, and knife are all in the clear. Gotta jot that down. Mion, study, and knife. Should I actually be taking notes? I don't know. I have a little notebook in here. I don't know if I need to, but I might as well for funsies, you know.
Then I'll go. Reina, Axe, Lounge.
Leon, Study, Kniff. Only 2 people said they had one? So it means out of Reina, Axe, and Lounge, one of them is correct and is part of the crime? Only 2 people said they had one. So it means out of Reina, Axe, and Lounge, one of them is correct and is part of the crime. There, I was struggling to read that. No, wait, even if they said they did have one, they don't have to say how many. It's possible that either Satoko or Rika-chan has 2 of the cards. Well, K-chan is next. Go ahead. Oh, wait just a little. I'm still sorting things out. The game has me thinking more than I thought. Oh man, this feels like it's going to be tough. Alright, now I have the criminal. What? Already? Here I am spinning around in circles and Mion just raised her hand. The murderer is Rika-chan in the infirmary with the poison. Well, Mion drew the cards from the box and we checked to see if her deduction was right. You were right! You were right! All I needed was one more hand. I couldn't tell whether it was poison or the pistol. I'd never use a pistol. Like killing them slowly with poison. Rika-chan said such a hugely terrifying thing with such a sweet little face. Everyone was making a commotion about how they almost had it. Reina and I were left out in the cold, though. How did you do, Keiichi-kun? Couldn't get it at all. Don't worry, I had no idea either. How can you both be so unsure? You'll both end up in last place together at this rate. That's even worse. Going off buying something together as a couple. What if we ended up having to buy Happy Family Planning Guide? I can tell from Keiichi's expression that he's not very good at this game. What? That's not true. I'll show you the true power of Sherlock Maybara during the next round. Sherlock Maybara is wild. My, that sounds just wonderful. I shall give you quite the thrashing. After that, I managed to somewhat grasp the trick behind the game, but it was still always a step or 2 behind. I saw that Mion was somehow gleaning information from the others. From how the others were asking their questions. That level of experience was just too much. The only way I could stage a comeback was if I became ruthless. I tossed out the simple conception of deduction and switched over to the thought process needed to win. What is the thought process needed to win? My ears hurt. The important thing was finding out the criminal. Isn't to find out the criminal, it's to win the game. Eureka! Ah, sorry. I need to go to the bathroom. Take your time and squeeze out a nice one. You nasty.
Michan, that's gross.
I had them hold off the game and headed down the hall. The air was crisp. It showed just how stagnant the air in the classroom was from our body heat. On the school grounds, some of our classmates were still playing around. After spending some time cooling my head, Reina had made her way over towards me.
Keiichi-kun, did you call for me?
Yeah, I did. As I got up from my seat, I winked over at Reina. I'm glad it worked out. Don't want to waste much time, so I'll get right to the point, Reina. What's your record at this game we're playing today? She was taken aback. After a moment, she hesitantly opened her mouth.
Well, all losses. Why do you ask, I wonder?
Could tell from how apprehensive she was playing. The way things are going, I will as well. I can't figure out a way to pull off a last-minute comeback on this one. So I guess both of us will be taking that penalty.
Hey, don't accept defeat already. How about we win this? Both of us.
But how can we? Brought my lips up to Reina's ear, whispering, whisper, 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 whisper.
Huh? Is that allowed?
Did you forget, Reina? The second rule of our society. Do everything in your power to obtain victory.
Yeah, I'll try my best.
Our plan of attack was quite a rudimentary one. At the beginning of the game, everyone would be focused on their own hand for a while, taking notes and whatnot. Since our seats were right next to each other, we'd reveal our hands to each other. If we did it under the desk, then nobody would know. We'd begin the game with twice as much information as everyone else. Having this much information would mean we'd need to investigate less. With this sort of plan of attack, we start off with a big lead over the other guys.
Yeah, with this we can probably win.
We both smirked at each other. If I was the shady businessman, then Reno was the corrupt senator. Haha. Pleasure doing business with you. Let's hurry back. We'll work as a duo to surprise everyone.
Hey now, there's no point if we go back together. It'll be like a flat-out song and we made a little arrangement.
Oh, sorry, then what should we do? Oh, I'm backwards.
Oh, sorry, then what should we do?
Go back ahead of me, Reina. I'll take my time coming back after washing my face or something.
Okay, got it.
Reina turned around and headed back to the classroom. I guess I should wait a bit longer before going back. If I went too soon, it would seem like I went to the bathroom. If Neon or one of them suspected something, then there could be problems. Well, they'd figure it out sooner or later because both Reina and I would start winning over and over again. Both Reina and I will have earned enough points to avoid being the losers by the time Neon realized what was happening. Excellent. Not bad at all. Meibara-kun, may I have a moment? Oh, it's the teacher. Man, things were just getting good. What is it? You have a guest. Please make your way to the entrance. A guest? It's not like I own a hotel. They have been waiting. Please hurry. It was rather unfortunate that I'd have someone waiting on me right before my big match, but I was more interested in the unexpected guest. I didn't want to waste my time, so I decided to take care of it quickly. I don't know why I said it like that. Meibara-kun. The entryway was a heavy contrast from the hot sunlight and deep shadows. Oh! Waiting there, looking uncomfortably warm, was a middle-aged man, his tie sloppily loosened and his jacket tucked underneath his arm. I remember him. Are you Meibara-san? Keiichi Meibara-san? There was no question that he wasn't a resident of Hinamizawa, and that this was without a doubt the first time that he had met me. Ever since I met Tomotaki-san, I had been running into so many middle-aged men. That's right. Who might you be? I have the AC on in my car. Let's talk there. It's a bit hot here, don't you think? The man, completely ignoring my question, pointed over to the parked car near the gate and began walking. You gotta be kidding me, right? I had no intention of going along with some geezer I didn't even know. He was asking me to get in his car with him? I'm not going to bite. Come on now. He opened the back door of his car and called me over. I didn't like this old man, but I wanted to know what this was about, even while knowing that conversations that start out like this have never led to anything good. Oh yeah, the inside of his car was pretty cool. The steering wheel is on the opposite side of the car than normal. For me. Cars with air conditioners were supposed to be a luxury. My dad didn't have one in his car, at least. Please let me know if it's too cold for you, okay? I have a habit of cranking it all the way up. So, what business do you have with me? Out of spite, I decided to ignore his remark in the same way he did to me when I started my own line of questioning. He pulled out a notepad from his pocket and took out a picture that was stuck between the pages. On it was the face of a pretty goofy-looking guy. If you know anything related to this individual, then please tell me. Who the heck is this? I doubt even his closest friends would be able to recognize him from this expressionless picture that looked like it was taken at the DMV. No! No! Wait! I'm not even in the frame. No! No! There were scribbles on his shirt done in permanent marker. Y'all, it's Tommy. Starting with yours, Meibara-san, and quite a few of your classmates signed as well. God damn it. Huh? This is Tomotaki-san? There was no hint of his usual unreliable and easygoing personality in this photo. It was an expressionless, half-asleep face. Then do you know this woman? Even before seeing it, I had a good idea of who it was. I don't remember her name, but she's some lady who was with Tomatake-san last night. I don't know what her name was, but I do know she was a resident of Hinamizawa. When was the last time you saw these two? The night of the Watanagashi, we spoke. They seemed pretty close, I guess. Did anything bother you about them? Anything is fine. Go ahead and say it. Being asked for every little detail is troubling, honestly. I had a pretty good idea of who this guy was by now. Did something happen to them? There was no response to my inquiry, thus I replied to the silence in kind. I was pretty sure, no certain, that this guy was a cop. Then why? Why was he asking about Tomatake-san? Did something happen to him? More importantly, why me? Shouldn't there have been plenty of other people who know more about him than I did? The roar of the air conditioner felt unbearably loud. After a long pause, he finally spoke again. You've moved here just recently, isn't that right, Meibara-san? Are you aware, I wonder, about the stories of Oyashiro-sama? My heart began to race. I'm pretty terrible at hiding things. It probably showed on my face. Not at all? If you don't, then not at all. If you don't, then that's fine. Well, I have heard of it. Tomatake-san told me, actually. How much do you know about it? The dismemberment killing, the accidental death, the death by illness followed by suicide, and the lady who was beaten to death. The incidents that always happened the day of the Watanagashi, ending in suspicious deaths. I didn't think Tomatake-san would have kept anything from me. I think that was everything. No, rather, I didn't want to think that there was anything more than that. Do you know that, well, curse, Meibara-san? Feel free to speak openly about it. I don't believe in it. My answer was instant. It wasn't so much that I didn't believe in it as I was on the verge of believing. I wanted to clear away my own doubts. That was more prominent than feeling. Really? Then that's great. Guess you really are one of those city-raised boys. So what if I don't believe it? I have friends waiting, so could you get to the point? The man in this picture is dead. Yo. He's dead. My mind went blank. What happened to Tomatake-san? It would seem that he died last night. That was the night of the Watanagashi. Do you understand the implications behind that, Meibara-san? Implications? Not any at all. Not any for the cause of his death, for the reasons behind it. The real problem was that he died on the day of the Watanagashi, meaning this year the curse of Oyashiro-sama has once again. The death of Jiro Tamatake is still confidential. You can understand why that is, right? I don't want to understand why. Please, tell me. Tell me what happened. It was rather peculiar. It might be a little too graphic for someone born and raised in Hinamizawa. It was a roundabout way of saying it, but it caused me to doubt. Whether or not I wanted to hear the rest, I would only regret forcing myself to learn of something I shouldn't. Or at least that's how I figured I would feel if I listened to the rest. One of our patrol cars discovered the body on the way back from security detail at the festival. It was late, about 5 till midnight. The location was, you know where the road into town becomes paved, right? Down past the slope on the shoulder around there. There are a few streetlights on that road. It was pitch black darkness was only broken by the lights of passing cars and the moon. It was a stroke of luck that Tomatake-san was spotted collapsed on the shoulder of the road. Tomatake-san was face down, covered in blood. Blood and muck covered the asphalt. We thought it was a hit and run at first, but when the officer checked to see if he was still alive, he quickly noticed something abnormal. His throat had been ripped open. Oh, Jesus. From a knife or something? No. Nails. Nails? As in fingernails? With those he clawed through? From the coroner's report, it revealed that it was with his own nails. What does that mean? Basically, it means that it wasn't a murder, it was a suicide. Tomatake-san thought there was a reason to tear open his own throat. As hard as he could be with his own nails. As hard as he could with his own nails. Tore through the skin until he started to bleed, and even then Tomatake-san didn't stop. He continued clawing, with enough intensity that it could have peeled off
his nails, still clawing, still clawing. Then, as his nails reached those vital arteries that you should never damage, he continued clawing. Blood splattered on the ground around him. Oh, do you hear that sound in the background? It's the scratching noise. As he bled, while gasping for breath, he collapsed, his body spasmed, and he died in agony. Thought drugs were to blame, but nothing of that nature was detected. But this, it was a suicide? Never heard of such a thing. This unnatural way of dying. If it wasn't a mysterious death, then what was it, the way he died? In these 5 years, his death most resembled that of a curse. As if to show myself and Tomitake-san, who proclaimed there was no such thing as a curse, that they were wrong. Damn straight. There were a few more suspicious details. From his body chemistry, perspiration, epilation, and so on, we concluded that he was in a state of hysteria right before his death. That was a given. It's hard to believe someone could be in a sound state of mind while clawing out their throat. Yeah. Words on his hand matched a discarded piece of lumber found nearby. There were traces of where he struck trees and the guardrails within. Tomitake-san's blood was found all over the place, meaning that while tearing at his own throat, he was swinging around a piece of lumber. There were external injuries which were not self-inflicted, discovered on Tomitake-san. There is a high probability that Tomitake-san was assaulted. The external injuries suggest there may be multiple suspects. To summarize, Tomitake-san was surrounded and attacked. While wandering the night roads in a state of panic after being cornered, he picked up a piece of lumber and tried fighting back. Somewhere in there, he began madly tearing at his own throat, clawing at it. Then he died. Wild. Absolutely bonkers. The presumed time of death was around 9:23 p.m., meaning it occurred right after you finished talking to Tomitake-san at the festival. Everyone signed Tomitake's shirt, then parted ways. Right after that, oh yeah, he should have been with that woman. What about her? She's missing. She hasn't shown up to work and hasn't returned home either. There's a very high probability that she was involved in this accident. For a while, I could only gaze off into space. I never would have thought that something unfortunate happening to somebody close to me would affect me this deeply. The time I had spent with Tomitake-san was short, but we went to the same festival, spent time together, and took part in the same competition. He was one of us. We have been continuing the investigation on various fronts, but when it comes to Oyashiro-sama's curse, the villagers aren't very cooperative. That I knew well. I would have been none the wiser if not for Tomitake-san, the outsider, telling me. So that's why you came to me? Because I'm not originally from Hinamizawa? Should have been angry that this was the reason he wanted to hear what happened for me. If things go the way they have been, then the conclusion would be that Jiro? Tomitake died from Oyashiro-sama's curse. He turned away from me and gazed far into the distance. The night of the Utanagashi, during that sacred ritual, he callously snapped off photos angering Oyashiro-sama. That's how it's going to turn out. There's no way Oyashiro-sama would inflict divine punishment on Tomitake-san. Tomitake-san had to have been killed by humans, and a cowardly group, no less. There's no way I'm going to let this end up being the fault of some curse. I think so as well. There's no such thing as divine punishment or curses. The tense mood was cut with the man's hearty laugh. It's how this must be, Meibara-san. Cooperation from individuals in Hinamizawa who don't believe in the curse is indispensable. Understand? Neither Tomitake-san nor I believed in curses. But with the way things were going, it would just end up with Tomitake-san's death marking the 5th year, which would mean that Hinamizawa had rejected Tomitake-san. That was something I couldn't allow. Tomitake-san was one of us. He didn't live in Hinamizawa, but he came every single year. In a sense, he was more of a resident than I was. There was no way that Tomitake-san could have been cursed by Oyashiro-sama. There's nothing I can do to help. I have no idea what happened that night either. No, if you see or hear something that draws your attention, then that is enough. If I see or hear, He was talking in the future tense. Things or people or rumors. Anything is fine. I don't care if they're unfounded. Here, this is my number. If I'm not there, then just leave a message with whoever picks up. He handed me a piece of paper with his number on it, but I hesitated for a second. If I took it, then whether I wanted to or not, I'd be mirrored knee-deep in this matter. Please help me solve these questions surrounding Tomotaki-san's unfortunate death. That's right. Why was I hesitating? I needed to find the murderer who killed my friend. I snatched up a piece of paper as a satisfied grin spread across his face. Everything we spoke of today is secret. Please keep this confidential. Understood. From your friends as well, especially from Sonozaki-san and Furuda-san, please do not inform them. Sonozaki? You mean Mion? Why? Are you saying they have something to do with the incident? With my friends' names brought up so abruptly and being told to keep it secret from them, I became rather angry. This is what they call investigative privilege, I suppose. Don't play games with me. Mion is a close friend of mine. I snapped at him, but he didn't seem too especially offended. Well, yeah, you're a child. I wouldn't mind telling you, but it may just upset you. Say it! He hesitated a little. Turning his gaze to the outside of the car, he began to speak after thinking for a bit. There is a possibility that the string of incidents happening here in Hinamizawa are a result of village conspiracy. There's no way that could be right. Give me a break. First of all, is there any proof of that? No evidence. Also, each of the cases were resolved and none of the perpetrators had any direct connection to the village. Then how did you come to that conclusion? Every year, the enemies of the village die on the day of the Watanagashi. Don't you think that's enough to suspect something? Only the residents of Hinamizawa felt that the day of the Watanagashi was sacred. So basically, because incidents happened on that day, it was somehow related to Hinamizawa? First, it was the dam construction foreman. Then it was a villager that supported it. Those the village holds a grudge against die one after the other for mysterious causes. The means are different, but in the end, the results are the same. Unfounded, unreasonable suspicion. But it couldn't just be shrugged off. So the victims after that, what about the Shinto priest and his wife's death? They were enemies of the village. The villagers had expected leadership from the Shinto priest at the time of the dam dispute, but he wasn't proactive. So there was a faction of villagers who harbored ill will towards him as a result. Ill will? It's not like he did anything bad to the village. What about the housewife after that? Did she die because she was the wife of the brother of the supporter? That's such a trivial reason to kill somebody. What about Tomotaki-san? He's not affiliated with the dam project at all. He was just killed because he was an outsider? In the beginning, it fell on those related to the dam project, but as the years went on, the enemy threshold of the victims had become much lower. Well, that's the scary part. The bar keeps getting lower. What's scary about that? It means it's not just enemies of the village anymore. Just being an outsider isn't a reason enough. The next year's victim, they're going to be picked out of the village's outsider pool? It might be a person that just moved here. What do you mean by... I swallowed my words. Here in Hinamizawa, the ones who would be considered the most outside would be my family. I was proof enough of that, wasn't I? I still couldn't really remember the names of the people I passed by, and the next victims, my family. Was he saying it was going to be me? But what does that have to do with Mion? Couldn't go into details, but the Sonozaki family led the dam protest. Quite fervently so. This is also true of Mion Sonozaki-san herself. She has quite a few misdemeanor and obstruction of public worker offenses on her record because of the protests. I knew Mion knew what it meant to fight. This was the first I heard of her family leading the protest, though. That's suspicious. Then, well, what did it all mean? Are you saying that Mion's family is involved with this string of incidents? I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying that if it was a conspiracy, then they'd have the highest possibility of being behind it. Not a very clear explanation. Felt like he'd magnificently avoided the details I really wanted to know. We don't know who or how involved anyone is right now. That is exactly why I don't want you to say anything to the villagers. Instead of answering, I gave a very bitter expression. It seemed that he understood it well enough. Then think of it like this. I don't want to worry the villagers who blindly believe it's a curse. How about that? What do you mean, how about that? How should I know? but the reasoning behind wanting me not to carelessly open my mouth about it wasn't too hard to comprehend. The perpetrator was here. It had nothing to do with the curse. He was definitely going to be caught by the police and made to pay for his crimes, and none of the villagers should have anything to do with that process. It may cause those sensitive about the curse to just worry needlessly, just like everyone kept it from me so I wouldn't have to worry about it. It is now my turn to keep it from them so they don't have to worry. I'm just talking to myself. Unlike me, everyone else had been worrying over these mysterious incidents yearly, and the incident this time probably means a lot more to them. I didn't want to burden them anymore. In the end, everything went as the man had wanted, as insipid as it was, but I couldn't be helped. I understand. I'll keep it to myself. Is that fine, Mr. Oishi, from the Okinomiya Oishi, from the Oki police station. You can call me Kuro-chan if you want. Oh no, Oshi-san is fine. The way he said it was unpleasant, yet retained hints of politeness. He was the spitting image of a vulgar police officer, though I've never seen one this bulky before the cop shows I watched. Taking up too much time. Your friends are waiting, aren't they? Should probably let you get back to them. The door opened with a click, and in streamed the oppressive heat. It was blistering outside of the car. Was it really this hot of a day? It was an almost cruel heat, as opposed to the mechanical coolness inside the car. It was as if the land of Hinamizawa itself suddenly hated me. Felt a little sad as the thought crossed my mind. I didn't mean to suspect your friends. Please don't misunderstand that. I refrained from telling him that it was too late to say something that self-serving. It's fine if you don't hear anything, Maebara-san. There is enough proof that the village is not involved. I'll contact you if I hear or see anything, but I'm no detective. Please don't expect too much from me. I won't. You don't have to become a detective. Just go on living and you have up until now. Just let me know if you notice anything. I hastily made my way back to the school building after giving him a quick bow. See you later. See you later. Farewell, Maebara-kun. I returned to the school building without looking back. Clue? I don't know how much time had passed. I did feel bad for keeping them waiting, but right now there was a lot on my mind. Tomitake-san's death was hard enough as it was, but to think that there was a possibility of a village conspiracy? Worse still, there was also a chance that Mion was involved? Nonsense. Impossible. Not Mion, Reina, Satoko, or Rika-chan. It was a group that attacked Tomitake-san. Who could the perpetrators be? Could it be they were hiding here, somewhere in Hinamizawa? I didn't know. All I could say for certain was that I knew that Mion couldn't be the perpetrator. You never know anything. Just saying. It's me-chan, the perpetrator! Huh? I was startled to hear Reina's voice. With the rope in the lounge? Bah! No? No! Reina clutched her head while flailing about. Looks like you're just self-destructing over there, wow. Ah! Kichi-san, you're quite late. As you may well know, I'm seething with anger. I'm sorry about that. I was called into the staff room, you see. You were reprimanded for bad behavior? That's a shame. Well, it's been pretty heated over here. Since it's getting pretty late, let's make the next game the last one. If I remembered right, I had 0 points. Isn't it pretty much decided that I'm going to be finishing in last place? Don't worry, Kichi-kun. I'm at -1 point. Oh. The heck? Her score is lower than mine and I wasn't even playing. This is the final match to decide if the penalty is going to be carried out by Reina alone or both Keiichi and Reina. Kei-chan and Reina. Yeah, right. Just let Reina do the penalty by herself. We made a promise, Keiichi-kun, that we could both win. I waited all this time, you know? Sorry about that. Yeah, you really left her hanging like big time. followed my initial plan of showing Reina my cards. But I didn't say who was the criminal, just waited for her to call.
I got it! The murderer is me, with the poison at the entrance. Is it?
My, Reina, quite a quick answer. Another stab in the dark? Oh!
Reina's correct. Oh. Then it's decided that Keiichi-san shall take part in the penalty as well. Hooray! Keiichi-kun, let's both do our best.
Yeah, let's do our best. It's my fault, so I have no choice. Then that's game. It's me, Mion Sonozaki, ranked first, and dead last are Keiichi Maebara and Reina Ryugu. Everyone applauded, and the game ended. The problem now was the penalty. Now then, I ranked first, so I'll decide what you'll be buying for the gopher penalty.
What will she make us buy, I wonder?
Let's blacklist the drugstore. That was your aim, wasn't it? Huh? I don't have any business at the drugstore. This old man's already got a list prepared for you on this piece of paper. Whoa, there's a lot written here. A lot? Damn it, what is she making us buy? 2 blocks of tofu, shampoo and conditioner, apple vinegar and fried tofu? What the heck is this? It looks more like a shopping list than a penalty. Mia was certain she was going to win today. Rule 7 of our society. You cannot refuse any penalty. Here's some money. The shampoo I usually get is Fruit Fable. Thanks.
This is just your grocery list?
I promised myself that if I won next time, I'd make her go buy some hemorrhoid cream. So mature of you. So mature of you. Okay, gonna do the tips and then that'll be it. There are more than 4 perpetrators.
What?
Hypovolemic shock induced by clawing out their own throat. Tissue is packed under the nails, not someone else's nails. It's undoubtedly by the individual's own nails. The shape of the scar also matches. Yeah, I know the immediate cause of death was suicide. I get it. You're saying the cause of death is unnatural, right? It's kind of like when your back itches and you scratch a little too hard and draw blood. Some of Tomotage-san's fingernails had been pulled out. It's actually quite simple to pull out one's own nail. Ugh, but it really hurts. Gross! Under normal circumstances, the pain would prevent you from completely pulling them out. Also, there were a lot of bruises on Tomatake's body. It's clear from the shape of them that he was assaulted first by someone or a group of people. According to the toxicology report, the deceased was in an extreme state of hysteria right before death. Then he fought back and clawed out his own throat because of how hysterical he had become. The guys attacking him certainly would have been surprised by that. Is it possible that in such an abnormal event a person could perform acts that a sane individual couldn't possibly imagine? Of course, those are very rare cases. Actually, Oishi-kun? Jesus, I'm struggling. That wood plank the deceased used as a weapon? They only found sand and the paint from the guardrail on it. What about cloth fibers or skin? Nothing. The deceased didn't strike the assailants. Or it could be that they took the plank he was fighting back with. In that case, they wouldn't have gone out of their way to replace it with another. They'd take them all. Har 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 har. That's true. Tomatake's pretty built and tanned. He was quite athletic. That's right. He was pretty active. I can't imagine what kind of sports he did when he was alive, but I think his physical strength would be on the higher side, meaning he would be difficult to overpower in a brawl. If a man with such a physique sensed he was in danger and swung the plank around quickly, it's just unthinkable that it wouldn't even nick the perpetrator, and his opponent was unarmed. This guy had a wooden plank, so you'd think he'd hit him at least once. To surround and take down someone of his physique. I wonder how many people it would take. You dimwit. You should know better than anyone. Have you forgotten your bad cop days already? If I was to take down this guy, how many would I need? When a group wants to take down big prey, it's fundamental to attack with numbers. I'd guess about 4. Even if there was a gap in their strength, they'd manage. Then there were quite a few perpetrators. So any drunken, disorderly groups or 4 or more, any suspicious? A group of 4 or more. Just if they had that many, then couldn't they have hidden the body in a less obvious location? Or did he somehow break away from that fatal predicament? Then there would be no reason to commit suicide. Moreover, I still can't comprehend the irregular way that he died. It's full of mysteries. There's serious consideration on my end, too. I'll be examining it as thoroughly as possible, but don't get your hopes up. After all, we've never encountered a death like this before. It's not hoping for much, but I'm looking forward to the results. Oishi-san, the chief is calling you. Thanks, see you around. Yeah, best wishes. So, what we now know is there were at least 4 people, okay? He scratched his neck, and that actually is what killed him, is he scratched so hard he scratched out his main blood vessels in his neck and bled out, choked and died. Crazy. It's so crazy. And then the lady is missing. The lady that he left with is missing. Jiro Tamataki, deceased. Resided in a cheap hotel in Shishibone City. Shishibone. Yeah, Shishibone seems right. Registered under the name Jiro Tamataki. Pen name. Travels via folding bike. No license. The bicycle was found 300 meters away, abandoned at the side of a forest path. Present on the day of the festival, accompanied by the missing Mio Takanao. Takano. Was seen around 9 p.m. by the police. Location afterwards unknown. Held residence in Hinamizawa for 1 week each season for the last 5 to 6 years. Freelance photographer specializing in wild birds. Check with magazine companies. Nothing suspicious in the film located among the articles of the deceased. Wallet was among the articles of the deceased. Mere act of violence? From the contents of his wallet, he spent most of his time around Tokyo and Chiba, along with the Sobu National Railway line. No individual matching the name Jiro Tamataki in the residency records of any of the Tokyo wards. Compared teeth to dental records. Sent to Metro Police. Attach a photo. Send to Metro Police. Contacting magazines regarding Jiro Tamataki. Mio Takano, missing. Nurse at Erie Clinic. Became close to Tamatake, oh my god, through her possession for wild bird photography. Resides in Okinomiya. Blank district blank. Single. Witnessed accompanying Tamataki on the festival grounds. Currently missing. Struggling. Abducted, or maybe a suspect. An important person of interest. Had no motive to kill the deceased. Squabble from jealousy. Need to thoroughly investigate their relationship. Place of work, etc. Need to get information from the police on scene again. I want some cream puffs. 4 jumbo ones. Oishi. That is not relevant to the case. You goofy. You goofy. Okay. Dun, 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 dun.